Monkey D. Luffy is the main protagonist of One Piece. He is the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates and one of the Yonko. From the very beginning, Luffy has been vocal about his dream to become the Pirate King. When he started his journey, Luffy was nothing more than a teenager with a big ambition. Since then, Luffy has come a long way. He has gathered one of the strongest crews in One Piece, and together they have taken down many powerful foes. With every passing arc, Luffy gets closer to his dream of becoming the Pirate King, but there are still several things that he needs to do before he achieves his goal. Find all 4 road poneglyphs. Poneglyphs are huge steels that were created centuries ago and inscribed with information about the Void Century. Since they are made out of sea stone, it is impossible to destroy them. For this reason, the world government simply forbade people from reading them. However, it didn't stop people from trying to decipher the writing on them. There are many kinds of poneglyphs, but the red ones are the most coveted. The red poneglyphs are called road poneglyphs, and there are a total of 4 of them. The road poneglyphs contain instructions on how to reach Laugh Tale. It is impossible to reach the island without collecting all of the road poneglyphs, so it is important that Luffy finds all 4. Currently, he has 3, which puts him in pole position to reach the island. Defeat all his rivals. Luffy has faced many strong opponents throughout his journey, and has improved after every single fight. His biggest test came in the Wano Country arc when he had to fight Kaido, the strongest creature in the world. By defeating the Yonko, Luffy took a major step toward his goal of becoming the Pirate King. However, there are still many characters who want to claim the legendary treasure for themselves. With this in mind, it is obvious that Luffy will have to face them at one point or another, and most likely it will happen before he becomes the Pirate King. Control the Hyohito no Mi model, Nika. Luffy possesses the Hyohito no Mi model, Nika, which is a mythical Zoan-type devil fruit. The world government has been trying to get its hands on the devil fruit for a while now, but it continues to evade them. When they did manage to find it, Shanks stole it, after which it was eaten by Luffy. In order to hide the devil fruit's true nature, the world government changed its name to Gomu Gomu no Mi. Clearly, the devil fruit is crucial to the story, so Luffy will have to master it completely before the end of One Piece. While Luffy has awakened the devil fruit, he still suffers from severe aftereffects, as seen after his fight with Rob Lucci, so he will have to get that under control if he hopes to become the Pirate King. Reach Laugh Tale. The One Piece is said to rest on Laugh Tale, which is the final island at the end of the New World. The island was discovered many years prior to the beginning of the story by Goldie Roger. Initially, Roger believed that Lodestar Island was the last one, but he was not satisfied with the result, which is why he borrowed Kazuki Oden from Whitebeard. With Oden's ability to read the poneglyphs, Roger reached Laugh Tale and found the treasure left behind by Joy Boy. Luffy will only become the Pirate King if he gets his hands on the legendary treasure, and for that, he has to reach Laugh Tale. Topple the world government. Fans are divided on the topic of whether Luffy will take down the world government before or after he becomes the Pirate King. While each group is entitled to their own opinions, it makes more sense for Luffy to take down the world government before finding the One Piece. The world government has relentlessly tried to get rid of the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, but it has always failed. In fact, the distraction caused by the CP0 agent during Luffy's fight against Kaido backfired massively, as it helped the young pirate to awaken his devil fruit. If Luffy takes down the world government, he will change the entire world and free the common people from its clutches. Master all types of hockey. There was a time when Luffy didn't have any idea what hockey was. After training with Rayleigh for almost 2 years though, he finally understood the concept of hockey and how he could use it to become stronger. Luffy is currently able to use all 3 types of hockey, and he has mastered 2 of them: Busashoku Hockey and Kinbunchaku Hockey. The only type left is Haoshoku Hockey, which is the rarest and strongest form of hockey. While Luffy did use it to defeat Kaido, there are still some areas that the pirate needs to polish before he can finally defeat his remaining opponents in the series and become the Pirate King. And in other news, One Piece. 7 villains who had a point. One Piece is one of the longest running anime series in history. It spans over 1,000 chapters, and yet it doesn't feel dragged out. The characters in One Piece are nicely fleshed out, which makes them fascinating. This applies to both heroes and villains. In fact, many villains in the series adhere to a strong belief and never change it. These villains do not commit crimes out of the blue. They have a reason that pushes them to act in a certain way. In fact, it could perhaps be argued that some One Piece villains actually had a point. Arlong. Arlong might not have been the strongest villain in One Piece, but he represented something far more important. As he grew up on the bad side of Fishman Island, Arlong learned to hate human beings. He would hear stories about how humans mistreated fishmen. Growing up, Arlong witnessed the horrible deeds of humans firsthand. Due to his hatred for them, he never trusted another human. He tried to protect members of his own race from harm. In his mind, Arlong did nothing wrong, but he certainly went about it in the worst way possible. Kaido. Kaido was the main villain of the Wano Country arc. He was the captain of the Beasts pirates and one of the Yonko. Kaido managed to garner the reputation of being the strongest creature in the world through sheer power. Throughout the arc, Kaido demonstrated his strength and how superior he was to the other characters in Wano. Kaido was obsessed with war, and he wanted to start the biggest war that the world had ever seen. Initially, it seemed like Kaido was just a brute, but there was a major reason behind his behavior. Kaido strongly believed that people could only be equal in war, which is why he always tried to start fights. Akinu. Akinu is possibly the most hated character in One Piece, mainly because of his involvement in the Summit War, during which he killed Ace. He is currently the Fleet Admiral of the Marines, which means that he has command over every single Marine. Akinu is an ardent believer in absolute justice and thinks that nothing should obstruct the path of righteousness. The biggest problem with him is that he is unwilling to compromise justice. He doesn't even spare his underlings or any innocent civilians, for that matter, if they try to go against justice. While his methods are definitely tyrannical, Akinu knows that in a world of pirates, it is important to be absolute. Blackbeard. Blackbeard is considered by many to be Luffy's final opponent. Blackbeard and Luffy are two sides of the same coin, which is why it is always interesting to see the former's perspective on things. In comparison to Luffy, Blackbeard is a calculating man who only takes action if it suits his personal interests. However, there have been certain occasions throughout the story where Blackbeard acted rather recklessly, and it was due to his strong belief in fate. When things go wrong, Blackbeard shrugs them off as a work of fate. His way of thinking even inspired a cold-blooded killer like Shiryu to join the Blackbeard pirates. Blackbeard also believes that a person is free to dream, and, in his eyes, they shouldn't stop at anything. Charlotte Katakuri. Charlotte Katakuri is one of the sweet commanders of the Big Mom Pirates. He has one of the best introductions in the series, in which he kills a man with a jelly bean. This moment, along with several others, boosted Katakuri's popularity within the fanbase. The sweet commander proved to be the biggest obstacle in Luffy's path on Whole Cake Island. For the majority of their fight, Katakuri easily pummeled Luffy, and there wasn't much the Straw Hat could do about it. Katakuri's reason for fighting was to protect his siblings from harm. He believed that his duty to his family came before everything else. Gekko Morya. Gekko Morya is the captain of the Thriller Bark Pirates. He was the second Shichibukai that the Straw Hats fought after Crocodile. Gekko Morya possesses the Kagekage no Mi, which is a paramecia-type devil fruit that allows him to control shadows. In his heyday, Morya was able to match Kaido in combat, which is definitely a big feat. During their confrontation in Wano, Kaido obliterated Morya's entire crew, forcing the latter to retreat. Morya was saddened by the loss of his crewmates, so he decided to create underlings who would never die. In order to do so, Morya used the power of the Kagekage no Mi and stole the shadows of other people. Morya took the wrong approach, but he only did so because he did not want to lose his crewmates ever again. Smoker. Smoker is a Marine Vice Admiral who was heavily involved in the story at one point. He made his debut in the Low Town arc, and he nearly captured Luffy before the pirate could set foot in the Grand Line. Luckily for the pirate, Dragon managed to stop Smoker in the nick of time. After letting Luffy slip through his fingers, Smoker became obsessed with capturing him. His manhunt for Luffy is driven by his desire to prevent the pirate from toppling the world government. Smoker knows there are similarities between Luffy and Roger, so deep down, the Marine is aware that if Luffy isn't stopped, the entire world will enter a state of chaos. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.